The journey towards perfection has led me to explore new lands, meet new people, and face greater challenges than ever before, all while still tending to my farm. The 14th of summer in my second year is no different, as my first big batch of starfruit is ready for harvest. All of it gets stored away in my recently upgraded keg shed. I also harvest strawberries and ancient fruit in my greenhouse, and yes, I am still operating on the belief that good luck days affect seed maker yields, which, to be clear, they do not. Once I've got most of my chores done, I pack up and head for the desert. There, I trade all of my jade for staircases and buy more starfruit seeds from Sandy. Then I run back to the valley so I can make it to Clint's before he closes. Once I'm done processing geodes, I stop by the museum where I turn in the 100 bone fragments for Gunther's special order. I also drop off a few donations while I'm there. Back at home, I fill the empty spaces in my field with starfruits and finish off the night with a bit of wood chopping. On the 15th, Leah stops by and gives me a sculpture she made. Gunther has sent me the recipe for a bone mill in the mail, and Kent is asking for a starfruit. Whopper Jr. is now fully grown, and I make sure not to turn the small milk she produces into cheese, as I need to sell it for the shipping collection. The melons I planted in a doomed attempt to get a giant one are done, and I decide to let that patch go since I'll need to move that sprinkler fairly soon. Kent's starfruit request makes me realize that I have quite a few other delivery requests piling up, so I pack a few things and head into town. Caroline finally gets the pumpkin she asked for. I guess she and Abby can use it for this year's Spirit's Eve. At the special orders board, I accept Robin's Resource Rush, Stone Edition. Then I drop off the iron bar that Clint requested. I still don't know why he couldn't just make one himself, but hey, I'll take the cash, I guess. Lastly, I track down Kent and hand him the starfruit he asked for. Back on the farm, I get to work on Robin's Resource Rush, starting with the giant boulders that I've been leaving just for this quest. While I'm checking my notes, I get a little distracted by the cryptic note quest, and look through the secret notes I found. I do happen to remember the start of the one that talks about a secret in a dark tunnel from previous playthroughs, so I grab a battery pack and head into the tunnel west of the bus stop. The note that comes out of the lockbox asks me to bring a rainbow shell to the train station, and it just so happens that I've saved one. Beats, on the other hand, will have to wait. On my way to the quarry, I run into Maru, and she lets me look at some cool stuff with her telescope. Clearing the quarry gets me to 200 of the 1,000 stone I need for the quest, so hopefully I don't run into too many more distractions. The next day, I head into the desert to buy beet seeds from Sandy. I make sure to gift her something while I'm there, as I'm struggling to earn hearts with her. Then I head to the mines to farm stone for Robin's special order, focusing on the larger boulders that spawn. The luck isn't great that day, so I only end up getting an additional 80 stone. The 17th is Sam's birthday, so I stop by the museum to give him a gift before returning to the mines. I spend most of the next day there as well, but I find that I'm less than halfway to the goal on Thursday night. Strawberries are ready in the greenhouse on the 19th. I run up to Robin's to order my next house upgrade, then go all the way to the sewers to buy another sprinkler from Krobus. I stop by the saloon in the evening and find a few of the villagers enjoying the giant omelet that Gus made with the eggs I brought him. If you've been paying attention in this playthrough, you'll know that this is not the first time I've run into issues with sprites in cutscenes, and I'm beginning to suspect the portrait mod I have on being the culprit. In any case, I give Demetrius a birthday gift and chat with a few folks before heading out to enjoy a nice walk on a summer evening. That's when I come across Marnie and Lewis arguing about keeping their relationship a secret. I hate to break it to you two, but I think that ship has sailed already. I use a couple of secret notes to uncover a strange doll and someone in the truck by the abandoned Joja Mart who is asking for a rabbit's foot. Have they just been living there this whole time, or... The next day, pickled kale is ready and so is the wine. I take the opportunity to move most of the preserve jars into the designated jar shed, as well as rearrange the kegs in the upgraded keg shed. Then it's back to the mines to continue with the stone quest. Unfortunately, with less than another 100 stone gathered that day, I'm pretty confident I won't be able to finish it. The next morning, I get an extremely sus letter from Lewis requesting some truffle oil for an unspecified purpose. Well, he'll have to wait because I've got some work to do in the greenhouse today. I'm finally getting to a point where it's time to start replacing the cranberry and strawberry plants with ancient fruit. I spend the rest of the day tending to the farm and beginning the planning stages for a very special outfit. My house upgrade is done on the 22nd, and I am on a mission to scrub every hint of nursery out of my second story. I also discover that using a frozen tear in the sewing machine produces a dark jacket, which makes all kinds of sense. When my house is no longer in complete shambles, I head for Pierre's. On the way, I witness an altercation between Sam and Mayor Lewis and decide that I don't have time to mediate. I'm pretty happy with the wallpaper Pierre is selling that day, but unfortunately the flooring he has is the exact same one I'm trying to get rid of. The catalog is tempting, but I hold off for now. While I'm there, I also buy a bouquet, and no, I'm not planning on installing the polyamory mod for this playthrough. Up on the mountain, I get Robin to remove the crib and finally feel like I can breathe. Seriously, I don't get why having the second floor be a nursery is the default, even when your farmer is single. Especially since you have to get this upgrade if you want the cellar. Why can't I just tick a box when I place the order? Why do I have to go out of my way to get rid of the crib? Anywho, I get that taken care of and add the 2 extra rooms that Robin can apparently just explode into existence. Has she been, talking to the wizard or something? Speaking of the wizard, at the special orders board, I accept his quest to find ectoplasm. For now, I stick to the brown earth levels of the mines, as I also have a help wanted quest from Demetrius to slay rock crabs. Except as I'm heading home, I realize he actually said lava crabs, so oops. That evening, when I go to put up my wallpaper, I discover that I actually should have bought more for the hallways, but it's looking normal enough that I managed to go to sleep. That night, the farm gets a visit from a familiar face. Is this? Yes, she's back. Oh, redemption arc for the fairy! With the fairy's redemption arc complete, some of my starfruit is ready for harvest the next day. There are also strawberries ready in the greenhouse, as well as 7 of the 10 beets I need to put in the mayor's fridge. Later that day, I go to Pierre's, where I happen upon the mayor. I decide that this extremely public place is the prime location to hand over the truffle oil he asked me for which he hands me 750 gold. 750. That's less than half of what I would make shipping it. Good grief, this guy is as bad as Pierre, and at least Pierre doesn't involve me in his sex life. After getting swindled by the mayor, I buy Pierre's catalog so I can finish removing the excessive amount of pastels on the second floor of my house. Then I head to the beach to check for wormies. There I run into Haley and help her find her great-grandma's bracelet. After double-checking for artifact spots, I head into the mines to hunt for ghosts. When it hits 10 p.m., I go back home to take care of a few things before the night is over. First, I make some fiber seeds to plant at some point. Then I post up at the sewing machine and make a few options for this fit I'm trying to put together. I use the catalog to replace more of the wallpaper and flooring upstairs before heading to bed. And apparently this whole asexual reproduction thing is becoming a trend among my barn animals, as Aguilar gives birth to a baby goat. I also hit level 10 combat that night and go with the brute profession because, as Ash Ketchum would say, the best defense is a good offense. The next afternoon is all about outfits, or really one outfit in particular. I make a few different pieces and use the dyeing function on the sewing machine. I even make a run down to Hat Mouse to obtain some headwear. Eventually, I determine that I need to stop by Emily's to use her dye pots to get the look I'm going for. So, on the 25th, I load up my backpack with things for dyeing. Before I go to Emily's house, I make a run up to Robin's to check her inventory again. Don't ask me why I didn't just use the phone to check it. She doesn't have any of the things I'm looking for, so I just buy a new bed instead. At Emily's house, I witness her having a rather colorful dream about me and get to see the gemstones I delivered to her get put to use. I manage to walk into the house only to realize that I have no idea how this works and I need more stuff to put in the dye pots. When I rush out the door to pop back home, I watch Emily save an injured parrot. I finally manage to use the dye pots to get things exactly how I want them, and with that, I have my wedding outfit ready to go. The next day starts like most Fridays do, with a trip to the sewers, but I've got an even more important errand to run. My plan is to give Seb the pendant in his room, since I still have responsibilities to attend to in the mines. However, I barely step into the house before I'm pulled into an argument between Robin and Demetrius about tomatoes. I begrudgingly answer the question truthfully. Tomatoes are a fruit, even though the game categorizes them as a vegetable, while wishing this cutscene allowed for more nuance, and head downstairs. Seb is already headed out though, so rather than do this in front of his family, I pop the question outside. He says yes and tells me not to worry about setting up anything, and that we'll be married in 3 days. All according to my plan. As seems to be my habit after moments like these, I head right for the mines afterwards. I hunt until a ghost finally drops an ectoplasm, which I promptly deliver to the wizard. The next morning, I get the mini obelisk recipe as a reward. The rest of my starfruit are also done growing, and so are some things in the greenhouse. With this special order for the week already completed, I take the time to replace more strawberry plants with ancient fruit. There's also starfruit wine ready, and with that prospect in mind, I go to Robin's to finally order the last house upgrade. I round out the evening putting the wallpaper and flooring catalog to use inside the house. The decorating continues the next day, this time outside, as I prepare the area around my field for the fall. I only get partway through executing the layout before it's time to head to a very special Moonlight Jellies. And with that perfect prelude to the coming event now complete, I don the wedding outfit I so meticulously crafted and head to bed.